That's good. That's doesn't matter at all. Yep, I know you're doing good stuff. That's awesome. Well, good. Well, good, good, good. Well, I'll probably kick it off tonight. I always view this, we've done this, once a year typically, where rather than touch on nutrition topics, it's fun to kind of have like a networking event, is how I see it, right? Learn about what other people are doing in the field, and is their company growing, right? Are there opportunities with their company? Um, how did they get into that position? Do they like what they're doing? What's their role entail? Yeah, you can ask questions, you can listen. I always enjoy this. I'll typically take some notes on what people say just so I can learn a little bit more about what everybody's doing. Um, you know, Provide folks with tips too, how you got to where you're at. Was it a specific action you took or a couple skills that kind of set you apart? Um, what's next for you in your career? That's always a good one. I was just a few of you, not in the call right now, but a few of you just got employment, right? As a holistic nutritionist, I was helping you out, helping them out over the last few months, and they get busy. I haven't heard from them as much because they got their role, but I just shot a couple folks an email like, "Hey, what's next?" Right? What's your next professional goal? So, it's always good to think about. At Purdue Global, where I'm the department chair, we always have, goal setting for the academic year. What are we working on? There's different categories. One of them is professional development. So that's nice when you're working for a company that makes you think about it, right? Makes you think about a professional development goal, but sometimes you don't have that. So it's good to, as a reminder. Let me let Danielle in here. Cool. We are recording. Well, good. Let me kick it off. I'll tell you guys just a short, you know my story. I'll actually share this. I just took a few notes this morning. I was like, what do I want to share, right? Let me blast this up. Very, very short, and then I'll take any questions, and then we'll pass it to Donna next in case Donna has to head out. I know she's busy, but maybe you'll stay for the whole time, Donna. But I'll let you go second. Um, yeah. So my story, I was prior military and moved around a lot. 8 years in the Coast Guard. Um, all up and down the East Coast, lived in 4 or 5 states. I think it was 5 states in the 8 years. It was actually 5 states in the first 5 years, and then luckily I didn't move in the last 3 years. And, loved the job as a 20-year-old that was not married, with no kids, but I wanted to settle down, wanted a little more freedom, a little more flexibility. I initially joined the military for the educational benefits. So I decided to do a 180. And the key thing, whatever's in bold here, really the key thing that helped me progress to the next step, I believe. Jumping from the military to the health, wellness, nutrition field, it takes a little bit of guts, right? It takes a little bit of courage to follow your passion. And what helped is just to take action immediately, right? So signed up for a grad program and found a way to work in the industry as fast as possible, helping people, which was becoming a personal trainer. It's typically a pretty quick process. And then from there, it's like, okay, what's next, right? Obviously, I'm not going to be a personal trainer my whole career, and a grad student. And so I knew I wanted to teach one day. I knew in the beginning I'd be open to anything. It was kind of tough to start at the bottom, right? When you leave one industry and then you start at the bottom of the totem pole and work your way up. And so we had this career specialist, guy at the Center for Career Advancement at my grad school. He would send out monthly emails with opportunities for alumni, for students. Most of them I did not qualify for. One of them happened to be an internship for a research position with the University of Maryland Medical School. And I was like, yeah, what the heck? So I applied, and the guy, Dr. Chris Diadamo, emailed me back and said, hey, do you have time for a call? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I scheduled a call with this guy, and he's like, you are not a good fit at all for for the position you applied to. I was like, oh, okay. He's like, but I've got something else really interesting. He was familiar with my grad program. He knew I was getting a really good education in functional nutrition, and he loved that. And he says, do you want to be part of the first mandatory nutrition program for medical students? Typically, medical students they might go through like some like half credit, 1 credit nutritional assessment course or something. Typically, not even that, but this would be the first series of courses that was mandatory for medical students beyond that in the whole country. I was like, yeah, yeah. And he's like, it's not paid. I was like, doesn't matter. I will travel 45 minutes to this every day that I need to be there. And it was pretty far from me. It was like 40, 50 minutes. I lived up in Pennsylvania. It was down at UMD campus in Baltimore. So, it was unpaid. It was kind of far away, but I did this for 2 years. I taught medical students and I did everything Chris needed me to do. I just I just gave it my all, even though it was unpaid while I was in grad school. I got a lot of my internship hours done through Dr. Diadamo, so I could be a CNS right away when I graduated, take that exam. And, I met a lot of people through Dr. Diadamo at Maryland, so I was networking, I was proactive, and I was just open to anything early on. And that position catapulted or was just a catalyst to everything else after. I qualified with a master's and 2 years of teaching experience. I easily qualified at that point for teaching positions. And so I applied for 40, 50 positions. So I was pretty resilient. You don't hear back from a lot of positions. And yeah, I got a teaching position, a teaching assistant job at a grad school for functional nutrition, a functional nutrition master's program at first. So I taught as a teaching assistant. I helped the professor and for multiple courses. And then I got a adjunct professor job. Um, and then after that, I realized I can handle a little bit more. I don't know if I want to keep the TA position. I want to keep the adjunct professor job. Let me reach out to as many companies as I can that I'd like to work at. So I did a bunch of research. I've told everybody this tip. I instead of cold called, I call it cold emailing. I emailed probably 20 companies of interest to me. They were not publicly hiring. I attached a beautiful resume that I tweaked for each company, cover letter that I tweaked for each company, and a nice email as well, introducing myself, mentioning something great about the company, how it resonates with my core values. And one of them got back to me, and I got a 12-month contract to work with that for that company, developing their curriculum, training their staff. That was the Nutrition Therapy Association. And so being proactive was really key there. And so from there, I have years of teaching experience, curriculum development experience, program development experience. I did start a business as well when I graduated my master's. So I was a private consultant, kind of shed the personal training eventually to just focus on nutrition. Um, and yeah, and then from there I decided, what the heck, let me keep going. Let me get my doctorate. It's going to set me up for leadership positions. I had a little bit of the military benefits left, so I went all in on a doctorate program when the curriculum development contract ended, and I had a little more time. I stopped being a TA, so I was just a professor, private consultant, doctorate program. And yeah, and then from there, the department chair position opened up at Purdue Global and went for it. And that's where I'm at now, private consulting and department chair. I do some peer reviewing for clinical research for Designs for Health as well, unpaid. But they offered me the opportunity to get some experience with peer reviewing of clinical research that's getting published. And I said, 100%. Don't have the time for it, but I'm finding the time as they throw me studies to read. And so, I'm always saying yes. If eventually I really truly don't have time, and there is a baby number 3 on the way, so it might happen, I'll tell Dr. Coetzee over there, like, hey, I don't have time anymore. But right now, I'm finding the time on like the weekends just to like breeze through some studies and put in my 2 cents. But that's it right now. And focusing on more leadership skills this year at the university level, developing my team. I hired a bunch of faculty last year. Um, but what questions do you guys have about my story, about how I got from one step to the next before we pass it to Donna here? I love teaching. I think teaching's great. Any of you, I know a lot of you are considering teaching eventually. You're young, like I am. If you want something that's flexible that you can do into your 70s as you travel, online teaching is fantastic. If anybody ever wants to chat about that, let me know. All right, let me look in the chat in case folks are being shy. Hold on. Yeah, we could try to do it tonight, Laura. Cool. Well, I think a lot of you would make good teachers. I've mentioned that to you. Um, there's a lot of online schools now. So if it's a great complement to a private practice as well. I think if you're going to do private practice and you want to kind of supplement income a little bit to teach online for one, two, or even three schools, I think it's a fantastic idea.
Hey David, I just had a quick question.
Yeah.
I was just asking if you miss personal training.
Yeah, in a way I do. I love fitness. I'm in the gym every day. I definitely miss it. I'm in there sometimes just giving like old guys that chat with me tips. Like the one guy, he just like does laps around the gym. I'm like, do 2 laps and then do some dumbbell work, do like a little, and now he's doing that. So I do miss it. It's fun. It's fun to be in the gym. My sister does it full time. She's a personal trainer like you have. And yeah, I miss it a little bit. But that's when you're a personal trainer, you live in the gym, and so with like little kids running around the house, taking kids to and from school. I'm like, it doesn't work with my schedule as much anymore, but maybe one day, who knows?
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm not a personal trainer yet, but I am looking into it. I am in the gym a lot though, so I do like that you have that background to give a little insight. So that makes sense.
It's a great way to get client experience, right? Just talking to people on the gym floor as you work them out, the tell, show, do method, educating clients about nutrition as you work out, saying, "Hey, what do you eat?" You know, it's a great way to kind of like just build confidence with clients. But cool. Let's pass it to Donna. Donna, tell us what's going on it's still called the Health Institute, right?
It's the Health Institute. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just going to kind of jump off of your presentation and because I did a lot of the same things. Absolutely say yes to
Hmm.
everything.
Yeah.
Say yes to everything. Even if it's not quite exactly what you want to do, get your foot in the door. Um, and that's what stuck with me from what you said and resilience because you're going to hear no a lot.
Hmm.
Yeah, and don't take it personally. It's you're gonna hear no a lot. And yeah, and be proactive. Go out and yeah, if they're not hiring, it doesn't mean that they're not hiring. It means they're not advertising. And so there absolutely might have something for you and it might be the perfect thing. If you see a company and you really feel strongly about their core values and you feel like it's going to be a great fit for you, send them an email, make you keep your resume nice. It just that it's you never know unless you ask. So that's awesome. I like that from your and I don't think that you were a doctor last time I talked to you. I think you were still you I so congratulations.
Thanks. It was April this year is when they they
Awesome.
they officially handed it out. Yeah.
Yeah, good for you. And baby
Thank
number
you.
three on the way. That congrats about that too. That's
Thank
awesome.
you. Yeah, we're pumped. Yeah, so
Good
tell us,
job.
is the company growing, Donna? I know
Yes.
you guys recently hired someone else in our cohort.
Yeah, yeah. And
Okay,
it grew in the last couple of months. So we've been a team of like, I don't know, there's probably 20, maybe 25 of us for the longest
cool.
time. And then all of the sudden, I have no idea how many people are on our team now. It's
Wow.
just been crazy because they sort of opened up the floodgates and it was like, we're just going to take in as many clients as we possibly can and they grew the infrastructure and they hired some real go-getters at the top level. And so now we're flooded with people. So they were taking the numbers and they said, "Hey, look, we've got to have enough nutrition practitioners." They call us nutrition practitioners. We're basically health coaches. They call us nutrition practitioners And they said, okay, how many people do you want? How many people do you have time for? We're going to give you as many as you can possibly stand, and then we're going to have to start hiring people. And I mean, I don't know how many are on our team now. We have a bunch that just started. Yeah, I know of one that came from this program in particular. She reached out to me, but I don't know. There might be more. I have no
There,
idea.
yeah, guys, let me know if you got hired by Josh Axe's company to help
Yeah.
this. I know Linda did. Linda,
Yep.
Linda, she's going to be on at like 8 o'clock tonight. She wants to chat about it too.
Oh, awesome.
She's
Uh-huh.
loving it so far. Um,
Yeah, I need to reach out to her again. Yeah, she's there, and I don't know. Yeah, if you work for Dr. Josh Axe, you're probably working with me. But
I was going to ask you this. You started in sales,
I started in sales,
right? You said, "Yeah, let me do it."
which is not my
Right.
Yeah, and but Sean was like, do it, you
Right.
can do it." You know how he does. And I'm like, right, okay. Well, and I struggled and I really was terrible at it. But I worked hard. I showed up every day. I kept showing up. I proved that I was the kind of person that they wanted on their team. And I let them know that this isn't really what I want to do. I think I would be living my purpose better over here. And I talked to the right people. So then when they were hiring for that position, I was first on their list. So, and then it's basically a dream job, you guys. I work from home. I am an independent contractor. They send me as many clients as I can stomach. Right now I have 50 that I am personally responsible for. And I also do some group coach. In fact, I just got off a group coaching call just a minute ago. And we do Facebook. We monitor the Facebook page, the pages. We do a lot of, email client stuff. And our goal is to become the number one telehealth nutrition coaching program in the world.
Oh, wow. They're going big.
Uh, yeah, and so and there's some people on the top end that are really going after that. So yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, and it's just make sure that when you're going, so I'm sure a lot of you are wanting to start your own companies, and that's going one direction. I wasn't really into the entrepreneurial thing. I actually wanted to work for someone else. So that's what I was looking for. And if that's you, make sure that you're looking, like, absolutely just send out resumes everywhere. When you're actually looking to hire on to something, to a place, and you're going in for an interview, usually what they're looking for is core values. They're looking for someone that they want on their team. They're not necessarily caring about what you know. Just
Yeah, 100%.
Right? It's like anybody could come in there and be like, "Yeah, I know this and this and this, and I've read these books and whatever." I mean, everybody has, right? What they're looking for is, are you a team player? Are you the kind of person that's going to show up? What are your core values? What are your ethics like, right? Where we work from home, we work independently, and we have to be self-motivated and be able to work on the fly. Like, how are you with this client? Just kind of, you're in a group coaching call, all of a sudden they come out of left field with some question. Can you think on the fly?
Hmm.
And we do that a lot. And yeah, and it's just this company's great. I'm sure we'll be hiring again after the first of the year. Probably this is our kind of our slow time of year, so I think we're probably where we need to be right now. I'm probably after the first of the year, I'm guessing, is
Yeah, keep us posted, Donna, like you did
yeah,
last time.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, Danielle, you can definitely contact me anytime. In fact, I will
Yeah, put it in the chat.
can,
Yeah.
you can email me. I'll put my personal email in here.
She's also in Circle. If you guys can search other members,
Oh
Donna's in
yeah.
there. She's just
Yep.
so darn busy now.
Yeah, I do check in if I get tagged in something. Oops, I just
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You can always, the companies understand they can always train someone how they want the person
Hmm.
to function, what they want them to know. We're big too when we hire at the university on culture fits and personality and just those kinds of things. You can't teach leadership, you can't teach culture, things like that. Um, so that those are always big factors too that come into play.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I usually let David know if I know that they are hiring again. So, I'll give him a heads up if I hear about it. Sometimes I don't hear about it, but, yeah. Yeah. So, and one of the other things that you asked was, so what's next, right? We always kind of have to keep growing and moving and shaking
Yeah.
and yeah, I think, I'm looking at a team lead position that's supposed to be opening in after the first of the year. Our teams are growing, so we're adding team leads. It's I've my team lead actually asked me to apply for it, so that's a good sign.
Oh, that's great. No, that's
Yeah,
happened to me with stuff too. That's a good sign. Yeah.
that's a good sign. Yeah, yeah. So I'll probably apply for that. I'll let you know what happens, and
Cool.
then.
I switch him to linebacker. I'm gonna add him.
Hold on,
And
Peter.
and then yeah, so that's soon next, and then eventually, yeah, master's degree. I'd be open to teaching,
You'd be
sure.
a good
Yeah,
teacher, yeah.
absolutely, I'd be open to that. And I'd like to go for the CNS maybe eventually. And there's a couple of people on my team with CNS.
Oh, that's neat. You guys hire the CNSs. So is it like 40 hours a week? You manage your own schedule as the clients sign up?
Yes, so I'm not actually even full time. I work when my kid's in school, but
Perfect.
yes, I manage my own schedule. I am in charge of when I am available, and then we report via we use Slack. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Slack. We use Slack, and we are very we work together. We're very collaborative. So you never feel like you are out on an island, like, oh my gosh, I have this client, I have no idea what to do with them. There's a message board for that, right? And you can put your question, hey, I've got this person, here's the thing. And there's 6 people that'll come in with ideas, things you can try. It's very collaborative, it's very supportive. Yeah, it's just a really amazing team that I just happened to stumble upon because I said yes to a,
Yeah.
to a position I wasn't
A
exactly.
sales position. Yeah, I know. I know some of you, in here, I always use Linda as an example. Linda's now working for Dr. Josh Axe too, but she had a great marketing background, or she still does. And and that was one of the discussions I was having with Linda at one point is let's get you in with a functional, holistic health company on the marketing side, and then you can lateral. So think about your transferable skills or your background or your prior career, because most big companies have accountants, most big companies have marketing, most big companies have sales. You can get in with a company and then say, hey, now I have this board certification. Like, let me transfer to the clinical team, right? Um, so that's awesome, Donna. I appreciate you hopping on and
Yeah.
chiming in. I'm hoping, Kara, I saw you signed up. Are you cool with sharing a little bit about your career progression and tips and what's next?
Ah,
Hi,
sorry. Yes. Okay. Sorry.
you're good.
I'm in the dark. Hold on one second. Okay, there we go. Yes, I do not mind sharing at all. Um, so I own my own practice. I guess I would call my practice a functional medicine and personalized nutrition practice. And I've been at it since January. Um, And I guess if I had some tips for people, it's kind of similar to what you guys have said, which is to just say yes. Um, I've pretty much, anybody that's reached out to me, I've said I've told them that I can help them, and not because I just want a client, but I really do think I can help them, because I definitely believe, and sometimes I'll even tell clients this, like, if we stumble across something that I don't know, I'm going to figure it out. Like, I'm going to research it. I'm going to reach out to colleagues. I'm going to do whatever I need to do to help get to the bottom of it or figure it out, or if I need to refer to someone else, and I mean, I've seen clients from inflammatory bowel disease to metabolic dysfunction. And I just had my first client reach out who has breast cancer, and she wants a nutrition plan to help her navigate that and to be healthy when she comes through the other side. So I've said yes to all of it. And I know one of the big struggles for me when I first got started was figuring out what to charge people. I mean, I think a lot of people who get into the health and wellness field do it because they have big hearts. And so it can feel awkward to charge a lot of money sometimes. And, but I forget exactly what I was getting a quote for. I think it was for like painting a few rooms in our house. And it was like, he quoted like $5,000.
Right.
And I'm like, he's going to work for 2 days painting these rooms, and we're going to pay, and I'm going to help somebody like save their life. Like,
Right.
I think I can charge a little bit more. I think it'll be okay, but on that note too, I do work with people also to do like payment plans and whatever. I think I do try to make it as accessible for people as possible also. But and I started lower than I'm at now, and I feel really comfortable with my pricing now. And so it was helpful to kind of reframe it and think about what we pay for these things that are just so temporary in a way. And then I think the other thing that's been helpful to me, I know Sean is really big on having like a social media and an online presence. And like, I love writing. I love writing content, but I do not like designing graphics. I'm not the biggest fan of like making live videos. I do it for sure. And so I paid the girl who did my website, I paid her to do like a packet for me of templates for social media posts. And that has been so helpful for me to have an online presence. And so I just think if you can, being able to pay for the things that you kind of hate is helpful.
Huge. Yeah. Peter's wondering, what's your structure for your package?
So currently I have like what I call bundles. So and I've adjusted this based on what the client needs and wants and what they can afford also, in a way. Like if I've come across a client who's like, well, I just don't know I can afford that, then I'll start with, so every package basically contains an intake session. And I charge I'll just say what I charge. I charge basically $400 for that. And then you can kind of bundle on as many follow-up appointments as we want, right? Some people are kind of hesitant at first. And so they'll just do the intake plus one follow-up, but almost always they end up adding on more anyway. But just that initial getting them in the door. And so, but I have, packages that go up to the intake plus 13 follow-ups. And so if you bundle follow-ups, it's $115 an hour. If you just do it a la carte, it's like a little bit more money. So that's kind of how I've done it. I've definitely been considering kind of restructuring through like a membership type deal, but I haven't gotten that far yet.
That's cool. So 400 for the initial session with like the
Mhm.
analysis. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. Because it takes you a lot of time up front.
It
Just so
does.
people know. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's I say that. And I let them know that there's a lot of work that goes into the intake that is outside of the hour and a half, 2 hours that I spend with them on the computer. Um, and that's kind of what they're paying for there.
Yeah. I'm always really transparent about that too. Like, hey, it includes the analysis, the research, the prep
Right.
for the session, and then the post-session work to get their recommendation, their links for their discounted supplements I'll put together. Yeah.
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 And then so what's next? I guess what's next maybe would be I don't know. This kind of randomly came in my brain. I think about it a lot because there's just such a great need out there. There are so many people that have mistrust of um, the conventional medical system and just want somebody who is going to listen to their problem and really dig deep with them and figure it out and walk them through it. Um, and so I texted my friend the other day who's a realtor and just said, "Hey, will you just keep your eye out for a small-ish house, like somewhere where I could do like a brick and mortar." So I would love to do
Mm,
that. Hmm.
that's cool. And Kara failed to mention something else.
Oh, right.
She started this mentorship program. I don't know, back in
It's
like last October, maybe.
Yeah, it's been about a year. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And nurse practitioner background, had a lot of knowledge. She came in, she presented at a lot of the grand rounds, like back to back to back, and which allowed me to see she's got a great, you know, a lot of teaching skills. And then we opened up some hiring opportunities, some positions at Purdue Global. I asked her to apply, and it is tough to get in. Let me tell you, we have a whole series of interviews. It's not just me making the decision. It's a whole team, and she did fantastic. So now she teaches over at Purdue Global. Everybody
Yes.
thought she did a great job through the interview process. So good job,
Well,
Kara, there as well.
thank you. Thank you. Yes. And I always have wanted to be a teacher, but I definitely thought that would be something I was doing like in my retirement phase.
Yeah, yeah.
But the opportunity came up and I love it. It's fun. I've learned a lot. And that's basically, between my business and that's kind of why I've been absent.
Yeah, it keeps you busy.
It does. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, we can talk the time you spend as an educator for an employer counts as contact hours too. So when
Yeah.
you're ready to tally those up, we can meet and chat, Kara.
Oh, I'm sure I'm beyond the 500 hours and I just haven't
Well,
tallied
let's get it
tallied
done.
it appropriately. But yeah.
Yeah, we should do that before I'm out on like baby leave for a week when the new baby comes
Oh,
soon.
yeah.
That's cool. No, thanks for sharing, Kara. Does anybody have any questions for Kara at all? Cool. Those are good updates, Kara. The brick and mortar would be awesome. Let's
Yeah,
see.
I
Yeah, go ahead.
just to add to that, I mean, I think
Yeah.
I really want to do that because I'd like to get other other people, other disciplines in the same like building with me, like a acupuncturist or massage therapy or even a physical therapist. That because I have a lot of clients that are um, in their 50s, 60s, and either have some injuries or are afraid of getting injured. And so that's why they put off exercising. But exercising is definitely something they need. And so, like, being able to have a physical therapist on hand to help them with, whatever it is they need, I think that would be awesome.
That would be cool to have an integrated practice. That's neat. Danielle's wondering, did you advertise in the beginning? How did you get started? How did you start finding your first few clients? That's a good question, Danielle.
Um, Definitely. I think social media is how I found my first few clients. And I mean, that's still how I get most of my clients. At this point, there's some word of mouth also. Um, the other things that I've done is like I've sponsored sports teams. I am sponsoring the snack lounge in my son's middle school. So I chose to do that for this upcoming January because January is the month that everybody wants to get fit and healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm gonna, hopefully be able to provide like healthier snacks and some information about my business there. Like, so I just kind of see like these marketing opportunities in my community and try to do it that way.
It's a good way to do it too, where you don't even need to try. You kind of just show up, chat with people.
Mm-hmm.
So many folks at the gym, they just want to chat with me about nutrition. And if I was taking more clients, it would be easy, if you're just
Yeah.
talking to people every day, just find somewhere where you can talk to people every day or every week. I agree.
Yeah, I think the other piece is finding other businesses where you are that are health related, right? Like we have a few yoga studios, Pilates studios, like chatting with those business owners, letting them know you exist and what you do, because they're going to have people coming into their businesses asking, hey, do you know anybody that does? I've been looking for a nutritionist or a functional medicine provider or whatever. And then they'll know your name.
Yeah, I mean, some of you have heard my first client years ago for nutrition, not personal training. It was exactly that, Kara. Maybe we've actually had this talk in a grand rounds. Maybe it was me and you. I had it with somebody. It was someone. So during my residency program in grad school, we had to see mock clients to get our hours. It's the way that most residencies are set up in the nutrition industry to get your hours. And I reached out to a friend from college, my undergrad, and it's funny, her name was Kara, and she was up in Massachusetts. And I was like, hey, can you be a mock client for me? She's like, yeah, sure. She knew what I was doing in grad school, post-military, and so she did it, and we kind of caught up along the way, like, this is what I'm doing, this is what she's doing. Cool. And then lo and behold, right around the time I was graduating, she was having a conversation with a coworker at her law firm. She's a lawyer, and that really wanted to get her health on track, work with someone. And Kara's like, oh, I have somebody. And the person's like, oh, good. I just don't know who to go to. I don't know who I can trust. Kara's like, oh, no, I'll set you up with David. And then this person, within one session of her, she's like, can I have my daughter work with you too? Two clients, just like that, from someone I was doing a mock client session with. And it just started happening after that. And it's like, that's why I'm pushing you guys to do the mock sessions, to network with each other. You just don't know whose parent wants to work with someone. Because, like, my dad's not going to work with me, right? My dad wants to go work with someone else. So, network with each other. I love that, Kara. Thanks
Yeah,
for
and I
reminding me.
definitely spent the first 4 or 5 months in your program doing mock clients. And it
Yeah.
was really, I mean, even though I obviously as a nurse practitioner, I'd worked with people one-on-one many times, but when you're doing it from such a different approach, I had imposter syndrome for sure. And doing the mock clients was very helpful.
I always found it helpful too. I loved observing other people. You're just like, oh wow, I never thought to say it that way or ask that question or whatever. And you just write it down. You're like, I'm going to use that. I loved peer observations in grad school when I was doing my residency. That's great. That's great. Let's pass it. Kelsey, are you able to chime in here a little bit? I'm excited to hear what's up with you in the wellness coordinator position and how you
Yeah,
doing?
hi. I feel like it's been a little while for me too.
Yeah, it's
Just
all right.
was
It's all right. It's cool.
busy and studying. Yeah, so I'm currently working for like an environmental consulting group, I guess you'd say. Um, they do soil testing for septic, which is like completely kind of out of my realm, not really nutrition related. But it kind of started off as an admin position, and they actually had reached out to me, I think on Indeed, honestly, or LinkedIn. I don't even really remember. And they just like shot me an email one day and they were like, hey, interview with us tomorrow at 4:30. And I was like, what the heck? Like, this is kind of random. Um, and so then I kind of thought it was a scam at first. Like I was telling my husband, I'm like, this doesn't really seem like legit. Like they didn't send me anything. They're just like, hey, interview with us. And it was like a video interview link. So anyway, I did the video interview because um I was looking for a job. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I ended up getting hired. They seemed like a really good company. And like I said, it kind of started off more as an admin role, and I've been able to kind of transition a little bit into like a wellness coordinator, employee wellness role. So they have like they call them like fun days and like team building days because everyone works remotely for the company. And so I've been able to kind of try to like dabble in that a little bit. So that's been fun, like making the days more like wellness focused and like wellness oriented. So that's been really cool. It's definitely not really maybe like my dream job, but kind of like what you said and everyone else is saying, just say yes. And I've just
That's
been
right.
kind of trying to like make the best of what it is. It's a really good company, but obviously not necessarily totally what I want to be doing. But I think I've been able to kind of take it and make it a little bit for what I want, if that makes sense.
That's cool. No, that's
Yeah.
a really cool story, Kelsey.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if I ever heard the first part of that. I know we had some
I don't think I
conversations.
told no, because it was like, and
Yeah,
honestly, even after I did the video interview, I was like researching them online because I was like, this
right.
seems kind of like it's a very like small startup, like young company. So I was like, this kind of seems like too good to be true. Like, I don't know, there's something just seems like off about it. But anyway, I took the job because some of you know if you've worked like mock clients with me, I was a flight attendant for like 10 years and I was wanting to get out of like aviation. I was in nutrition. I was a personal trainer like 10 years ago, and then I was a flight attendant and I kind of wanted to just get back into the wellness field. So then I finished up at Purdue recently and studying for the boards. And I just decided to take this job because I was kind of like I said, needing a job. And I was like, I think I can kind of make it. So my goal, obviously, in this position is as the company grows, just try to make it more of like a wellness oriented position, which my boss is definitely on board for. I think they just don't necessarily have the capacity or the need for it right now. But I still like I'll send like newsletters every month and just kind of like try to make it what I can. I think ideally, like what would be next for me is I really want to work in like a supplement for like a supplement company or teach, which I know we've kind of talked about too. So I
Hmm.
think either one of those is definitely on the horizon, but just making the best of what it is right now. And I think it's cool too because I've had opportunities to like talk to my employees. They know, they'll come to me and like, they'll just ask questions or different things like that. So it's been kind of fun to just like dabble a little bit here when I can.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I have three cool things, and then I open it up. I'm sure folks have questions for you. One is I was just talking to Dr. Coetzee at Designs for Health. He's on my advisory board at Purdue Global, and he couldn't make my advisory board meeting yesterday, but I asked him a bunch of questions via email to get some
Mhm.
updates from him. And I did ask him, are there any opportunities at Designs for Health now or in the future for folks with an undergrad
Mhm.
degree? And he said possibly a select opportunities.
Yeah.
So keep in touch there. The second thing is I love it. I love this. This just reminds me of how I got started, right? Personal trainer, grad student,
Mhm.
TA,
Mhm.
things like
Yeah.
I don't want to be a TA in my 50s, 60s,
Yeah.
70s, right? But you're like, I got to get started. Let me build
Mhm.
some momentum and make it for what you can and think about exploring other ways in that role to bolster your resume to
Yeah.
help where you want to go next. And so if it's supplement education, maybe you start educating your company and individuals on how can you ensure that supplements are safe, right? Third party
Yeah.
testing. Let's send out some
Mhm.
newsletter about that. Maybe you are a wellness coordinator specializing in supplement education.
Yeah. That would be really
See,
cool.
just kind of
Yeah.
like keep meeting with your boss, being like, I love what I'm doing. I just want to like see where I can expand within the small like wellness area
Mhm.
that I have. Just build that resume and then definitely start looking for other things. I love it.
Yeah, I think and honestly, it's like, I can't complain. It's such a good, like, that's kind of why I thought it was like fake. It's such a
Yeah,
good company. Like, they take such good care of us. And even though they're not necessarily like a wellness company, I feel like most of the people, there's people out in the field who do like the actual soil testing. And then
yeah,
there's a couple other like remote admin type positions, but everyone is very health minded, I would say. So that it kind of makes it cool because people are coming to me like asking questions and stuff like that.
that's so cool.
So yeah, it's been pretty cool. I feel like it is yeah, I'm just trying to kind of make the best of it. And it's maybe not like I don't love like the admin portions of it, but I'm just trying to like dabble in. And it's been really cool, like I said, to like especially one of my like closest coworkers who I work closely with. Comes to me like quite a bit, and it's pretty cool to kind of just like be able to have those conversations and like for her to trust me and have those conversations with her, and she ended up being one of my mock clients, which was really cool. And I think it's like I love seeing people's eyes like really open up. She definitely was one person who was very heavily reliant on like medications. And she's like in her early 20s, but I think that's just kind of all she thought or knew. And so to see like that education happen and see her like feel better, like she started eating breakfast before her coffee. In the last 2 weeks, she's like, that's been a game changer. So just like those little things, like it's just cool to kind of like be in that position and be able to like dabble in that a little bit, even though it wasn't the original position that I had applied for or
That
they
is so cool.
tracked me down for.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's been really cool.
I know the video interviews are getting more popular where was it like nobody, it was just you and the camera, right?
It was me
Yeah.
and the camera, and the crazy part was is then like after then the
Yeah.
next one it was me and the owner. But it
Okay.
was kind of weird too because like I said they didn't say like anything. It was just like they sent a video invite. I think it was on Indeed, honestly, because I had my resume
Mm-hmm.
posted and I guess they had found it.
Yeah,
But
Indeed's
yeah, so
good.
they had just reached out to me and then I like went back and looked at the job and I'm like, what? Yeah, video. It was like awkward. Totally, Kara. It was like so
Yeah, yeah.
awkward.
Purdue Global
Yeah.
uses the video interview. Yeah,
Yeah. But then the
Kara
second
remembers.
one I actually met with the owner of the company. So
Yeah,
it
that's
was like
that's neat.
less awkward.
Yeah.
But I genuinely thought it was a scam. Like I was like, this is weird, but I was like, whatever, I'm gonna do it. Like, okay. Like
Another lesson, just do it. Yeah, I mean, most
yeah.
people would probably be like, this is odd, right?
And
It's
it
like
was like
when
the next
folks
day too, so
text
they didn't
you.
really they didn't even give me a lot of time. It was like less than 24 hours, like interview, yes or no. Like that was it. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, and I mean, rock your admin role too, that part of it, because those skills are transferable.
Yeah.
My role as department chair is a lot of admin stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
it is what it is. Those skills are so important out there in the industry. So,
Yeah, it's
I
been
love
really
it.
cool. I'd love to kind of obviously tap into a little more of the wellness stuff next year. And I even kind of pitched it to him, and I think he's open to it kind of doing like a wellness retreat for the company. So like I said, they're
Ooh.
all pretty like health wellness minded, which is, you know, nice, I think, but doing some type of like company retreat, especially because we are such a small company. So hopefully I can like kind of plan and work on that and really make that something special for like next year.
That would be cool. That'd
Yeah.
be really cool. Yeah. Any
Yeah,
thoughts for Kelsey? Thanks for sharing tonight,
yeah, of
Kelsey.
course.
That was cool to hear. That was really neat. Linda, what's up? You ready? Tell people like what you're doing, how things have changed for you recently.
Okay. Thanks, David. Okay. So for me, career-wise, and I've been in the program for a while. I like to myself and
Darlene, right?
Darlene,
Yeah,
yes, we call ourselves super seniors. We call ourselves.
that's right.
And so for me, I have recently started a job as a health practitioner with the Health Institute, Dr. Axe's company. And which is wonderful. I thank David for all of his help, like really just grinding with David on my resume. I have worked in healthcare marketing for over 15 years, and that was the career I was coming from. But I wanted out of marketing. I love the healthcare part, but I wanted out of marketing. I wanted to be a healthcare practitioner. And so I was moving very slowly in trying to transition. And then having a conversation with David and just getting serious about how to switch, like how to actually move from my initial career, because that is feels so hard to do. Trying like somehow I would always get sucked back in to just that role, to that kind of marketing within a healthcare company. And so I just like all of you, I think like all of us being in this program, knowing that this is probably like our second career, second or third career, and wanting to get into actually being like practitioners. It really does take doing this program and then going out there and seeing what's available and working that. So for me, this program has really helped me for the role that I'm in. I don't feel like a fraud or an imposter because I feel very set up, and I'm not even finished, like with my learning journey. But it's really helped in terms of how to work with practitioners. So when we're doing like the mock interviews, that's very helpful because then you're in front of what they call them students who have come into the program and they've paid money. And so that's the part that's nerve wracking is that, they paid, which is like the part that's nerve wracking for us that attend Sean's class and we're trying to start our own business is that, okay, they've paid money and you want to make sure that you are, that you have everything and that you know everything that you're supposed to know. And so that part is hard. So I would say this, I don't feel like an imposter in the things that I know, but I can say, and I'll probably do this when I present, I do feel that there are things outside of my range that continue to challenge me. So, I work with like a lot of people coming into the program with cancer. And so really thinking that that was not my specialty, that is, not my area of expertise, really trying to hone in on what I can do. I have a case study that I plan to bring to the group on one student that is a very hard case for me and just keeps me up at night. But sorry to ramble, but just in terms career wise, I think honestly, when you've worked within an industry that feels like it's off of the one that you're planning to do, the best thing to do honestly is to really think through, okay, where do you want to be and what opportunities are out there? Like working with David, we talked about a series of potential opportunities and really even starting from the like almost near internship just to really get in the door. Some of them I was rejected from because they're like, oh, sorry, you're overqualified. Like that's not going to happen. I think it was you brought her. I can't remember what her the woman that you brought to our session. I'm sorry, her name escapes me, but she built this new platform. She's a former veteran.
Sophia Health, was it?
Yes, Sophia
With
Health. Sophia Health. Yes,
I
yes.
forget her name. Gosh, I know her.
It slipped out of my
Yeah,
mind.
yeah, me too.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, you applied there, right?
Yes, I mean, her company's amazing. I think she's amazing when she attended, but there are just things that we're not that just won't be good fits for us. And so constantly figuring out how to do more and get your feet wet. Like the last place company I was coming from was a fertility clinic, and I was working with as a marketer with physicians and doing that, but taking that opportunity to try to see how I could pivot and see how I could use my skills. And then when I started to just relax, okay, like, oh, will I ever get to work in this industry the way that I want to? And just trying to relax and let it go and just take the opportunities that I have, that I feel like that's when things started to like actually shift and move. And I was actually requested to do more. So if you're discouraged, I can tell you
Right.
all about that. I can tell you.
You stuck with it though.
I,
Yeah, that's
I,
good.
I appreciate you, David, because like I
Yeah,
was just at my sort of like, all right, I'll probably be here well past everybody else,
that's
slow,
right.
inching my way forward. But I think if you do whatever capacity, whether working for a supplement company or working working within like a Designs for Health or a larger company, this company, the Health Institute, was small. And since I've been there, they are growing exponentially and they're growing so big and so fast. For those that attend Sean's classes, if you do want to have your own business, one thing I would say is this: just being on this end has helped me think about like quality of life. How much do you want to actually do, and how many people do you actually want to serve, and how far do you want to serve them? Do you want to do one-on-ones, or would you prefer group classes? Do you want to be online, or do you want to be in person? And so I would say, as you're going on this kind of journey into becoming a working practitioner, is really even just take time for yourself to see what area do you want? Do you want to be an educator? Do you want to be an active practitioner? I think that's sort of the natural place we all think, but it may be in a different capacity. And so, because being with clients, I think we've all probably had one already. I think, right? Like somewhat, it's it can be emotionally taxing too, just in terms of because you are their practitioner. And so I think it's really good to think through, okay, in what capacity do I actually want to serve clients, and just really start taking the time to think and then go after those opportunities, like really go after them. And even if they don't come yet, just keep intern, or find like a part-time position where you can get an opportunity to just kind of expand, because you never know who you're going to meet that can help you for the next phase and the next thing. So
Yeah, what's next, Linda?
calling you.
Yeah, yeah. I think you've got the master's degree, right?
Yes, but my master's is in marketing, and so
It's
and then my
okay.
yeah.
A lot of people don't know this too. A lot of universities, if
Mhm,
you have a master's
mhm,
and then either or one of the other two things here, a professional nutrition credential, board certification,
mhm.
or 3 years professional experience in the nutrition field, um, you would qualify to teach at the college level.
Oh, that's
Um,
great.
as
Mhm,
an adjunct. And so every school's a little different, but I've seen a lot of schools, it's if you have obviously if you have a master's in the discipline, you're there. But if you
mhm,
have a master's and then either a professional nutrition credential, not like a NASM one, but like CNS, RD, BCHN,
mhm.
something that's nationally recognized, then yeah, I think you'd make a good instructor when you have a few years of experience, Linda. But yeah, yeah, let's set up a time to chat in the next few weeks or when things die down around the holidays. Let's do it.
That sounds perfect. Yes, I will be texting you.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do
Yes,
it.
thank you.
What questions do we have for Linda, guys? And Donna was on earlier, Linda,
Oh,
before, so she was here talking about the Health Institute a little
oh,
bit.
she was. That's great.
Yeah, yeah. She said, yeah, you guys are growing fast.
Yes.
So let us know. Donna's the one that let me know,
Mhm.
hey, my
Yes.
company's asking if I know anybody that wants to work here. And so she immediately came to me and I was like, yep, Linda
Mhm.
wants it.
Yes, yes, thank you.
And then
Thank
so
you.
you let us know the same thing, right? Let us,
Absolutely.
yep.
Absolutely. The next time they say something, I will, because it's nice to get our crew in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Yeah, yeah. Maybe if you know one of the higher ups too, you can have them message me if they want to have a
Okay.
conversation with like, hey, we need 10 people, we need 5 people.
That's great. Yes, I will do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
just let them know.
Mhm. Okay.
Cool.
Mhm.
Let me see, Leandra. What's new with you? Do you have anything to share? I know, what are you out of the NTP? Almost got the BCHN. Yeah,
Yeah,
what's going on?
almost. Yeah, gosh, so many good tips from Kara and Linda. I I kind of wanted to highlight something that Kara said because I'm experiencing um a little bit of like the price challenge, but recently I've had several people want to work with me and I felt a little bit like at capacity, just in terms of what I have at home, homeschooling, and my other responsibilities. And that has actually really helped me increase my prices. I just wish that I hadn't, like, maybe I'd reached that point before feeling a little bit stretched thin. It's a good problem to have.
Hmm.
And maybe I had to go through those growing pains, so to speak, in order to increase my prices. It really helps just from the mental space to um, be able to charge more, just knowing that I put a lot of work. The people that have come to me, most of them, I mean, there are some people I can think of maybe two of them where there's a lot of low hanging fruit. They just need like basic nutrition, very little prep. But I've had a lot of people that, I mean, I've had to do a lot of research. Recently, I had someone come to me with fibromyalgia, and I knew very little about fibromyalgia. I had a kiddo with ADHD and severe mold exposure. So I've just had, it's a lot of work on the back end trying to make sure that I do my due diligence. And anyway, so I've really just recognized, wow, I'm really putting in a lot of work, so that value needs to be reflected in my prices. So
That's a
Yeah.
good point, Leandra, too, is you got to factor in, you got to average. Okay, you're going to have some simple cases, but you're also going to have some crazy complicated cases that are going to take 2 extra hours, maybe 3 of research.
Yeah.
So you kind of need to average it together when you're developing your pricing and figure out. I always tell people, what do you want to make per hour, right? And then figure out, okay, how many hours are going to go into your initial or your package, and then there's your pricing. Always round up on the hours. But that's cool. So you've increased your prices. You're busy with homeschooling. I love it. We're probably going to homeschool our kids once they're through the
Right.
school at our church in 6th grade. And good. So what are we talking about? Master's programs recently too?
We did. Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I'm definitely interested. I don't know. I think I need to get over this sort of little hurdle that I'm in at this moment. I'm also currently in they changed their name, so I'm gonna get it wrong. The Institute for Restorative Health,
Right.
their gut healing.
Yeah, they
So
changed their name, right?
yeah, yeah. Um, so I graduate from that mid-November, and then hopefully round out my hours by the end of the year. That's my plan. And then maybe I'll be able to take a little bit of a breath.
That's right.
Yeah, and then maybe see what my next steps are.
That's cool.
Yeah, I have a lot of contacts that I really want to reach out to. So that's kind of what I would like to do next. Contacts in terms of just people around other practitioners and doctors that I've used with my own kiddos or my own family that are more functionally minded, and just making sure that they know, hey, this is what I've been doing, and making sure they have my name if someone needs nutrition practitioner. So that's kind of next on my like outreach checklist. I want to make sure that I do that. So yeah, it's all good, but it's busy.
Yeah, it is. That's a great project, though. I like that is when you have a little time, focus on outreach, like a big push, like a 30-day outreach project,
Yeah.
and just reach out. I was just meeting with some random guy that connected with me on LinkedIn, I don't know, 6 months ago, and then he started trying to like tag me to like follow his stuff, and then I saw he did some webinar on autoimmune diseases. He owns some sauce and seasoning company for people that have autoimmune diseases. I was like, let's have a meeting, dude. And the guy is a multimillionaire that sold a company. He's only 42, and he's never going to work a day in his life. He has Crohn's. His kids have Crohn's. His mom and dad have Crohn's, or his brother has Crohn's.
Oh
And
my
so
God.
he's like, I want to eat my favorite foods. I've got all the time in the world and the money. And so he hired this one of the best chefs in the world in New York City to help him start a seasoning and sauce company for people that need like AIP type stuff.
Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna have him come present at some point. But I was just networking. I was like, hey, do you want to catch up and meet? And wow, what a cool story. And he wants to meet again. And you just never know where this stuff's gonna go when you connect with someone.
Yeah, it's really true. I was actually meeting with my supplement rep at Cellcore, and we were
Yeah.
just chatting casually, and she asked me if I was going to one of their I guess they have maybe like Cellcore does expos and things like that. I'm not totally sure what it was. I told her no, I wasn't going, and she mentioned that one of the speakers there owned she owns some kind of like mental health practice near me. And I said, "Oh, yeah, I've actually reached out to her on Instagram because I liked her I liked something that she did, and she reached out to me, "Hey, thanks for resharing," or whatever, and connected with her. And so it's just kind of interesting, I didn't realize that she was actually kind of a somebody in terms of like speaking for Cellcore and that kind of thing. So
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, it's just kind of interesting how you really never know when just taking the effort to reach out to somebody, or, maybe just promote their stuff actually comes around and benefits you.
Yeah, you just never know. I mean,
Yeah.
most people would, on LinkedIn or things like that too, Darlene or Leandra, they'd be like, I don't have time. Like, who's this stranger on LinkedIn? I
Right.
was like, let me meet this guy. Why is he
Yeah.
bugging me? And
Right.
now who knows? Who knows where it'll lead? But that's really, really cool. Any questions for Leandra, guys? Awesome.
I have a quick
Danielle.
question. I'm
Oh
sorry.
yeah, Linda, go, go, go.
Leandra,
Perfect.
how many clients do you work with now?
When I heard you say 70, I was like, oh my gosh. Because you have like 10 times as many as I do. So I have some practice clients that are still like they're not paying, but I
Okay.
have actual paying clients that are I was just working with 7 and 2 rolled off. So, and that felt like a lot to me.
That's
So good for
great.
you, Linda.
That 7 is great. I mean,
Great.
especially if you're balancing like, being a teacher for your kids
Yeah.
and being a mom yeah, that is great. 7 clients and then yeah, good job.
That's
Thank
really
you.
good, especially if you already know like your system, like how much
Yeah.
time you're actually going to spend with them in person and how much time you're going to spend like not in person with them, just planning for them. That's a lot. That's a lot because you really have to think through how much time you want to give to each client. So that's really good. Mhm.
Yeah, and I haven't been like each client has been very different. So I haven't been as organized as I should be, Linda, with like very clearly this is how much time. And I have found that some clients have just been a complete time suck. Like I just yeah.
Yeah.
But in a good way, I have learned so much so fast because nothing will motivate you like trying to help somebody, right? So, yeah.
True. Mhm.
Do you market through your church, Leandra? I forget.
Yeah, it's crazy. Most of the people that have reached out to me have been through church. They've kind of watched me go on my journey
Cool.
and also I had like my piano teacher's mom. I'm working with her right now. My kid's piano teacher. And yeah, my church real honestly a lot it's most of the people working with me right now are very close. And so I am curious what is going to happen when most of those networks are exhausted and we'll see. Hopefully there will be referrals, but that's definitely something on my mind that I need to be making sure that I'm making connections outside of my close little circle.
Yeah, that's neat. Wait, Laura's saying, plus you've got me as oh, okay, you guys are doing the mock client
Oh
stuff.
yeah, yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, when I was at a baptism, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, down in Virginia, and I'm up in PA, so I traveled down to my brother's. They were doing a duo baptism. It was like my brother had a kid, plus his wife's little brother had a kid, so they were doing like a dual baptism at the church. And big family. Like my brother's wife's family is like she's like one of 8 kids, big family, and then my family, and everybody kind of knows what I do. This is like the 50th get together we've had with that side of the family, and someone was like, "Hey, is there anything you can do for kids eczema with nutrition?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah." And they were like, "Oh, do you take clients?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do, but I have someone that specializes in eczema, like Corinne,
Yeah.
right?" And so I linked this person immediately up with Corinne to work with Corinne. So rather than take the client, I was like, I have someone better, mom. I could have taken it, but I'm pretty busy. And so, yeah, it's just everywhere you are, just chit chat with people. Like, how you doing? People are going to ask you like, what's new? Don't be afraid to talk about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just, you don't need to like be salesy, but definitely talk about it if there's the opportunity. You just don't know.
It's true. It's really true.
Yeah, it's cool. Awesome. Danielle, what's new with you? Danielle Puno.
I was gonna ask which one of us.
Yeah, I forgot there's multiple.
It's funny. I feel like when I was in school, there were always one or two Danielles, but in
Yeah.
other classes. And it's like every time, well, not every time, but several times a week, I hear of another Danielle or a Danny, which is my nickname,
Hmm.
in this nutrition world. And I'm like, wow, there are so many of us. I know it's not an uncommon name. It's just like I feel like we're all collecting in one space. So I am a teacher turned nutrition consultant. I started off after I graduated college, I did a service program, like a volunteer teaching program, similar to Teach for America, but not Teach for America, and it served inner city schools. So I did that. That was a cool experience, working on the south side of Chicago. And then started off teaching kindergarten, went to high school, then went to elementary school. Most of my years were in third grade and as a vice principal. And after I got married and moved, there were no schools near where we lived, and I was thinking about leaving the classroom anyway. So a lot of people had started asking me, like family and friends were asking me just informal advice or insight on nutrition because it's something that I had been studying since I was 17. And so then my husband was like, well, why don't you just go to school? So I went to Bowman College, or through an online search, I found a few schools, landed on Bowman College, graduated from there. And I basically opened up my practice in May of 2023, pretty much right after I graduated. And I focused on general holistic nutrition for a while. And then back in this last spring, I shifted my focus to like fertility and hormone health, also kind of through the lens of autoimmune disease, because that is my journey. And so I thought, well, if I'm researching this for myself anyway, maybe I can help other people who are in a similar situation. And oddly enough, ever since I publicly declared that focus, I've had so many inquiries, but none of them are about fertility. Or one of them was about helping balancing hormones, and all the rest of them are like diabetes, or I just recently got an inquiry, a woman whose 20-year-old son he doesn't want to. He has aplastic anemia and he's scheduled for a bone marrow transplant next month. And she asked if I could help him. And I'm like, I mean, I set up a discovery call with her. I'm happy to talk with them. I don't know if I'm the best person, but if she wants to, work together, I'd be happy to help them. She basically is looking for a nutrition plan to help him during his recovery in the hospital. And she's definitely very gung-ho about alternative and holistic practitioners. And so I asked her how she found me, and she said she just did an internet search. And that was kind of cool. So I guess my website's good enough at least. So anyway, let's see, where do I go from here? I got started in high school, really going back a little bit. One day I was coming down with the flu. I'm sorry if you guys have heard this like 3 times before. And I was just sitting in class. I was a junior in high school, and I'm like, I really don't feel well. I have to go home. And I borrowed my parents' car that day, and I was at a really strict school, and they were like, okay, we have to call, your parents who were both working and get verbal permission. So I did. The office called them. I was able to go home, and for some reason I was really craving a red bell pepper. I mean, like, I could not go on unless I had a red bell pepper. So I stopped at the grocery store on my way home and I bought just one red bell pepper and I ate it. And within like 5, maybe 7 minutes, I felt so much better. Like I've never been sick in my whole life. And that was my aha moment of, wow, my body knew what it needed before I knew what I needed, and that was just very intuitive to me. And so my practice is called Intuitive Health. And that was basically born when I was 17 years old, but I just recently, a few years ago, turned it into a formal practice. So that's nutrition. I could talk about it, as I'm sure we all can, all day, every day.
Yeah, how'd you get your first few clients, Danielle? I'm curious for everyone to hear
Yeah.
this.
Well, my first clients were like family and friends.
Right.
My first and a couple of my family members actually paid me. So that was cool. I My non-family and friends clients, my first ones were through a physician assistant who I met when my husband was sick in the hospital with liver failure. And I ended up meeting this physician assistant who was starting his own direct primary care practice and was looking to bring on a nutrition professional or health coach or somebody. And it seemed like it was just kind of the right place at the right time. And I definitely don't recommend having a loved one get sick to make those connections, but you also kind of never know where those types of connections are going to come from. So he and I contract with him. He pays me a fee to write a nutrition plan for his patients who have signed up for his health optimization plan. And that includes like a meeting with me. I just meet with them basically once. I write a plan for them and then he helps them implement it, or so he says. I don't know. I have reached out to them a couple of times just because I think it's good to keep in touch, but I'm not getting paid like for that extra time. But it's been good. It's been good so far. And then one gal who I talked with, she's on the fence about signing up. She was like not for it and then all for it and now not for it again. So I'm not really sure what's going on. She's a referral from this physician assistant, but not his health optimization client. So she would be like my own client. And I've had a lot of potential interests just from talking to people, really. You know, trying to connect with people at farmers markets. I was in like a local store once and talking to these ladies who worked there. And when they found out what I did, they were like, oh, you should go talk to the guy who has the coffee cart right outside on Saturdays. And we tracked down a name and I found him and he started this like local small farmers market. And so just kind of getting my name out there. I've been able to put my business card in some coffee shops, in a dentist office.
Well, that's great.
I did start along with another gal, like a networking group out here for holistic and alternative integrative practitioners. So we have a biological dentist, an acupuncturist, lymphatic therapist, and it's just for us to get together and like help each other either in the entrepreneurial world or the nutrition world and kind of educate each other on in more of a collaborative way on why all of these factors are important for one person. So it's like truly holistic.
Love that.
Yeah, it's been really cool to meet
You
with
never
them.
know where that networking group will go one day. You might have a brick and mortar integrative clinic, in 10 years with these folks and go to this place. You got your dentist, you got your nutritionist, you got your chiropractor. Why
Yeah,
why
that's
go anywhere
actually one of
else?
my aspirations is to have like a collaborative team,
Yeah.
not necessarily employees. I don't know. I haven't figured that out, but just it's like, here's this one client. All of us practitioners need to get together and discuss this one client and see how we can best help them.
Yeah, that's neat. You got what thoughts or questions you guys have for Danielle? That's a cool story too, Danielle. I think you're dead on, just get out there. It often starts with relationship building and then months or even years later, those relationships grow into, opportunities and, big opportunities even. So, if you're just starting off, if it start with relationship building. I think that's a great place to start, you know.
And I think being consistent too, because
Yep.
just recently, within the last couple of weeks, I've had more family and friends. It's like they would ask me before I went to nutrition school, and then they all of a sudden stopped. Like, oh, I know you mentioned this, David, once. They'd rather hear it from somebody else.
Yeah, yeah.
And then just like, for example, today my sister asked me my opinion on vaccines. She just had a baby a couple months ago and
Oh, yep.
3 other kids, and they've at least the older, I think it's like every subsequent child gets less and less vaccines, or maybe they all have them. She's like, I don't even know. Her third one, she's like, he might have skipped a couple. I don't know. We moved.
Yep.
But now they're in that phase with their infant and they don't want to get the vaccines just because the doctor's like, hey, this is what we're going to do right now. So she's reading books and it's interesting just staying consistent and also sometimes knowing when to hold back no matter how excited we get about a certain topic and just let people kind of come to you or not. Um, that's why I have you guys on Tuesday and Wednesday nights, right?
That's right. No, that's right. It's good to pick each other's brains. That's cool. Hannah, are you ready to go to wrap us up tonight? And then we'll do part 2 of this for sure. A lot of folks wanted to go tonight and they couldn't. Someone got sick, someone couldn't make it. So we'll do part 2 in the coming weeks as well. What's going on, Hannah?
Hey, hi. I miss all of your guys' faces. So
I know. What's new? How's the job?
it's been good. Yeah, I'm just wrapping up right now, but I figured I'd just take a couple of minutes
Yeah, a couple minutes. Cool.
to say hi and touch base. I didn't get to participate in the rest of the evening.
That's okay.
But yeah, how has the night been going so far? We've just been kind of
It's
going through like career things, nutrition.
Yeah, everybody's just been sharing like where they're at, how they got to where they're at, if there's any specific action steps that really catapulted you forward that you want to recommend to folks, and what's next for you? What are you interested in? Is your company growing that you're working for? Is it global? Like if it's like relevant for everyone else to know. We had, Dr. Josh Axe's company hired 2 of our members and they're growing, they're global, so it's helpful for other members to obviously hear there might be opportunities with that company. But yeah, anything you want to share, Hannah?
Yeah. Yeah. So the company that I work for is called Restore Hyper Wellness. It is a franchise that's all across the United States. It's not in other countries yet, but probably likely at some point in the future, maybe. But yeah, all over the United States. And the headquarters is out of Austin, Texas. The company's been around a little over 10 years, around that amount of time, so fairly new. But at this point, pretty dialed into all the services that we offer. I've been working with the company for almost 4 years. I started working here when I moved out to Oregon. My mom was a nurse for their company in South Carolina, so they have locations there. So we do IV drip therapy. It's one of the medical services we offer. It's like a boutique wellness studio, so we don't use insurance. It is like membership based, but people do like it's micronutrient IVs. We do NAD therapy, hyperbaric oxygen therapy. We do micronutrient testing. We used to do food sensitivity testing, but they've phased it out. Um, and so, yeah, I guess I started in an entry level position and worked my way up into a general manager position, and then worked at a couple of different locations in the region. I decided to go do nutrition because when I was working here, I was like, okay, I've always loved nutrition and I was just in like the health and wellness field, and like this company specifically doesn't have like nutrition services offered. Um, and so I ended up getting my certification while I was working here. Something happened about a year ago where the store I was running shut down and there was a big change in management in the region. And that's when I joined this program and I started working on building my nutrition business because I was like, well, for the meantime, like that's what I want to do. And I tried to keep a lot of my connections with this company though, because working here, I was like, you're meeting so many people. So I'm always like, this has been my like prime networking space. I feel like that's what's helped me get to where I've gotten is just like kind of the people that I know through this community here. And so I've recently rejoined the company. The new owners reached out and hired me on. So I have been able to reconnect with a lot of their existing members and help. And they're actually rolling out GLP-1s now next
Interesting.
month. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of them personally. But they don't have a nutritionist
That's
still.
crazy. It's
And
crazy.
I'm like ripping my hair out. I'm like, you
Yeah.
guys, hi. Okay, we need to create a nutrition program. So I guess kind of to gear into like going forward, like one of my goals, I mean, I am still doing my practice on the side, but I would love to find a way to like get a program like that available here and something that they could, maybe we trial at our location and then we present something to the corporate headquarters and have it be something that's offered. Cause that's kind of what they do. They'll trial and like pilot different things and then roll them out across all studios. So kind of like the GLP-1, like we're the second cohort rolling them out. They're looking at adding in peptides, like peptide
Okay.
therapy and hormone therapy in the future. So that does excite me. Like I love being in this world as a nutritionist. But yeah, I mean, ultimately my goal, I would love to be able to be a practitioner through Restore offering nutrition services, but I don't know if that's gonna be the case or not. So, but I'm just gonna keep putting myself out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Tell everybody like what you went through over the past few months where, you thought you were going to start with one company and then you realized it wasn't a good culture fit. And then you
mhm.
started with, I forget the name of, like, maybe it was Edge Wellness, the PT clinic.
Yeah,
That maybe it was a good fit. It was just going to take too long for it to grow into what you were. But take people through like the last few months.
yeah, yeah. So I had been working at a PT clinic and I was looking to do full-time employment. They could only offer me part-time. So they were doing part-time and then contracting me in for nutrition, which if any of you guys are in that kind of position where you're like looking to be more part-time, like finding a clinic or something like, yeah, it was physical therapy and they had a gym. And so and they wanted to kind of expand and offer other wellness services. So it was like a great opportunity to be able to help provide that service for them. But yeah, it just wasn't quite it was a good fit in some areas, but overall, yeah, the growth, it just wasn't growing the way that I needed it to. And yeah, I really wanted to make it work, but it was just really difficult financially to keep doing
Yeah.
part-time. Again, though, I think part of it was like me. I just maybe didn't feel like that's what makes me think it was cultural because I was like, I just didn't know how to like fully be myself there. I felt like I couldn't show up like that. And so, and whereas like at Restore, it does feel kind of like my family. A lot of the people here I've just known over the years. So it's like here I definitely feel like I have more of that potential to grow. But it was like awesome to have that connection with that company.
Yeah, and how did it happen again with Restore Hyper Wellness? Did you just reach back out to an old contact and they were like, "Oh yeah, we're looking for someone." So yeah, you took action, you reached back out. Love that.
It was just, hey, I'm just putting feelers out there.
Yeah,
If something becomes available, I'm curious. And then it was like a month or two, a couple months later. Yeah, they were like, hey. So it is just, yeah, like a lot of planting seeds, like just just be like, hey.
I do that all the time. I love that. That's
Mhm.
fantastic, Hannah. Good for you. Yeah, if you wanna, I know you sent me an email, I'll answer that. But yeah, let's get together. Let's chat about, next steps, whether it's how do you start a nutrition program for a company that already exists, that you could trial run. Yeah, let's talk about it. That sounds fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to connect.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any thoughts or questions for Hannah, guys? Well, cool. I'll move the folks. I know there were a few folks. Some were unrelated to the career roundtable, which is fine. And then a few I know a few want to go next week as well. I know Paige couldn't make it tonight. I'll put her in for next week, but we'll do a part two. And whether it's next week, we might have a guest speaker next week, fertility specialist. But she might not go the whole time, so we can do a little bit after. But if she can't go next week, we'll just continue this. This was a lot of fun. Cool. Let me know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to do office hours Friday. I have some openings and I blocked them off, so I'll post that. I'll post that tomorrow in Circle for anyone that wants to connect. Cool.
Thank you, David.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for joining tonight. It's
Yes.
fun to hear from everybody.
Mhm.
See you guys.